Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Um, so just wanted to make this video for parents, teachers in the Newark, New Jersey area, um, probably New York as well, since you're so close. Um, who happens to be doing the virtual learning. That's stressful to a lot of us parents, and teachers, I'm assuming as well. um, who's doing the virtual learning and using some sort of remote support, web meeting or online meeting, such as Webex, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or, any of those popular meeting tools out there. So as someone with with an IT background, I felt um, I had to say something because this was, good on bad on both ends. Um, there's some do's and don'ts that I recommend, um, and there's just some what I consider basic things that should not be overlooked. Um, Two of the main ones. The main thing that shouldn't be overlooked is your internet connection, the package that you're actually paying for from the ISP, right? That's one. The next one is um, the hardware you're connecting from. Is it a desktop? Is it a laptop? How old is it? Does it have what I considered, those minimum hardware requirements? So I am going to, go over those items here, and hopefully it will help you if you're a teacher, or help you if you're a parent or a student who might be struggling with this virtual learning, trying to, get your meeting to function the way it should. But this instruction that I'm giving is very it's again, this is just my personal opinion. I'm not sure if I said that in the beginning. This is just my personal opinion. It's not endorsed by the Newark Public Schools school system. I don't work for the Newark Public School system. Again, it's just someone with an IT background who's trying to help, you to have a more functional meeting, and make sure, if at the very least, make sure the problem is not on your end. And if it is on your end, what can you do to fix it? Because as you know, not only are you a teacher or you're a parent, you're also an IT person, right? Or maybe someone else in the house is that IT person. So you guys have to be the jack of all trade. Your meeting don't work. Is it a browser issue? Is it your internet issue? Is it your laptop issue? Like there's so many issues, right? So many things that it could be. So you want to make sure you're aware of, what I considered best practices, or stuff you could do. So let's start. Okay, so let's start with the obvious one, right? And that is your internet. It's very important. Like, what are you paying for from your ISP? So for me, I'm paying for a 200 down, I think 20 or 40 up. One of those. I don't really pay too much attention to the upload speed, but I'm paying for a 200 down internet package. So here you could go to open up, your web browser of choice. It doesn't have to be Chrome. Here I'm using Chrome, and just went to the Google search engine, and I just type in speed tests, one word, and this comes up in the search results. So here from the search results, you could go here and run this one, but here from the search results, you have this run speed test. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on run speed test, and here you can see I'm doing my speed test, and it is pretty good. It's great, I would say. Again, I'm paying for that 200 down, and you can see 186, which is very close to that 200. And as a cable subscriber, any IT uh, people out there will tell you that is pretty good, because when you're a cable subscriber, you share the bandwidth. So the more people online at the time, it's less bandwidth available to you. That's typically how it works. Versus the FIOS group, who have a dedicated um, line to their FIOS and DSL. they have a dedicated connection. There's no shared like it is on the cable side. Um, but I've always been a broadband cable subscriber, not necessarily on the Verizon side. Nothing against Verizon, um, but I've predominantly been on the cable internet side. So you can see here, my internet is pretty good. Um, and this is everyone is on. It's me, my wife, four kids in school here on home, active online at this time. So that is a pretty good speed. Here, if we head over to the Wi-Fi, you could see um, everyone who's connected wirelessly. These are all my wireless um, clients at this time. Here, if you go over to my other, oops, let me, PRTG admin, go into my other server here. We could see, some of the other physical devices that we have, that I have in the house here. So I'm going to go over more detail in that one later, but I just wanted to start with the internet. That's the first thing. What I recommend is that 200 down, 20 up minimum package, right? You should have 200 down Mbps, um, and at least a 20 up, or 20 up is minimum uploads package. If you have lower than that and you're hosting a meeting, you're gonna have problems. Um, if you're joining and you're a parent or a student, and it's just one or two students in the house joining the meeting, it's probably not an issue if you have a 100 down package. Um, but the more people in that household, it's going to affect your internet, everything that's going on in there, especially if somebody is working from home as well, right? Maybe they're online just as much as the student working their job, their regular job. Um, and who knows what that regular job is, right? So you want to be, I would just say start with that 200. You're probably not going to go wrong. If it's more than, which I probably can't see this, but for some families, if you have more than 10 people in the house, and they're all online at the same time, then you need a higher, more than 200, right? And you would probably know that before the online learning starts. But I would say if you have 10 or less, 200 down, 20 up is a minimum you should get. Again, my personal opinion, but you could take it or leave it. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. So that's one. You got to make sure your internet package is good. And this is from your modem, right? Your internet comes in from the outside and connects into your modem, right? That's how um, you connect to the rest of the world, is through that modem. Some of you have an all-in-one where your modem, your router, and your wireless device is one device. Some of you have that separated. So like me, my modem and my router is actually one device. I have a separate device for my wireless clients. So my Asus modem slash router is where the internet comes into, and then I have a Netgear where all my wireless device connects to. But you may just have a modem, which means you just have one cable that goes to a PC, whether that's a laptop or a desktop, and there's no wireless, right? So it would be a dedicated cable going to that PC. So you have the full, there's no sharing in your house, right? There's no need to share because it's just that one PC. Or you're like most users who have some sort of modem slash wireless route, modem slash router slash wireless device, those three in one, all in one in your house. So you could share with other people in the household. So you could share with the cable, or you could share wirelessly. Um, so again, from that point to the rest of the world, that's your speed, right? The 200 down, 20 up. Now inside your home, we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about the PC you're connecting from, right? If you're hosting a meeting, this is very important. The PC you're connecting from. Um, what I recommend is, if you're using a, you know, um, what is that? Sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. Dip, 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 dip. Um, so I would probably recommend using a Windows or a Mac. I'm more of a PC person, not a Mac person. So you know, obviously, my preference goes to the Windows side more than the Mac. Um, but I recommend a minimum RAM, a minimum of 8 gigs RAM, a minimum of 128 gigs SSD drive, not the standard hard drive, guys, the SSD drive, right? Um, and a dual core CPU. Now, if you purchase a PC, I'd probably say it unless um, probably 2017 and up, it's probably going to be a dual core. So you're fine at that level. But if you have a PC that's older than that and you're hosting a meeting, right, this specifically go if you're hosting a meeting because hosting a meeting versus just joining a meeting and seeing what's going on, it takes a little more resources, especially if you're sharing something, whether it's a video on YouTube or, a video that's local or some sort of, a file, whatever it may be, right? Hosting a meeting makes a little bit more resources than if you're joining. Now, it doesn't take that much, but if you're joining from an older PC that can't even, is not even able to run the basic service for itself, and you're hosting a meeting, well, you're asking for problems, right? Because the PC is already struggling to run as is, right? If you try to, for instance, you ever try to go to a website and you click on it and it doesn't start, right? It takes a good couple of seconds, if not more, to start. That's telling you something. Do not run your meeting on that PC, right? Because your PC is telling you it's very slow to run the minimum operating system, right? That's a sign that your PC is slow. Um, so that is one. Those hardware requirements. The next thing, right? And this is what a lot of people overlooked is, they'll say, um, well, I'm connected right now, and my Wi-Fi is showing 5 bars. Now I laugh, or my Wi-Fi is showing 5 bars. Now I just brought up the Wi-Fi because my daughter, my daughter is very a 6-year-old daughter. She would occasionally say, "The Wi-Fi's down. The Wi-Fi's down. The Wi-Fi's not working." She doesn't know how to pronounce it fully. So this is a little cute. So I start using it. The Wi-Fi in the house, which again, guys, for simplicity, that's your Wi-Fi, right? I'm just joking around and say Wi-Fi. Um, some people say, "Well, I have 5 bars," and I will tell people it means jack shit. What does the 5 bar mean? You know, it just means from where you are connecting to your wireless access point in your home, you have good signal, right? But there's a lot more to it. Like, first of all, are you on a 2.4 gigahertz frequency or are you on a 5 gigahertz frequency? If you don't know what that means, it matters, right? You're on a 2.4 gigahertz frequency or you 5 gigahertz frequency. Also, are you uh, is your client and your wireless AP able to support, like, some of the fastest spectrum and the speeds out there, like connecting on the AC channel as opposed to the G or the N, right? And do you know what any of that means, right? So you're telling me you have 5 bars means jack shit, right? It doesn't mean anything, right? The 5 bars, again, I mean, not that it doesn't mean anything, I already said. It meant that you're very close, or, you're getting good signal from where you are to the access point, right? So that part we could rule out. But there's so much behind it. Again, you're on a 2.4 gigahertz frequency, 5 gigahertz frequency. Are you connected to, are you limited to what you're using because your client could only goes up to 54? Um, you know, a wireless G or a wireless N versus your AP that could support an AC, right? So, you need to understand that part. And again, I know you guys are parents, you're instructors, and this is might be gibberish to you. You don't understand that, and this is what I recommend is if you could just plug in with the cable. I know a lot of people don't like to use that because you're either using a laptop that's thin enough, you don't have an Ethernet port, or you like to move around because that's the point of a laptop. You like to be mobile, you like to work here, you like to work there. When you're doing meetings, and this is the thing with IT, right? And then some of you probably already know this. IT is very controlling. It's a reason for that, right? It's a reason for that. We know that it works here, it works with this, and it works with that, and it doesn't work with certain things. So if you want to create problems for yourself, just continue doing what you're doing. Move around and work here one day, work there the next day, work on wireless here, keep it simple, right? Just standardize what you're doing. Just every day, I'm going to do this. This is where I'm going to work from. I'm going to plug in, um, because for this session, this is the best possible experience that you could try. But if you try to do all these things every day, right? You're going to work on the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. You're going to work on a 5 gigahertz frequency. You're going to work, going to try plug in. You're going to work from a Chromebook. You're going to work from your Mac. You're going to work from your phone. I'm just saying, guys, just keep it simple. Keep one device you're going to be working from. Make sure that device have the minimum hardware specs. Make sure your internet is good. I mean, I just can't, uh, you know, I don't, if that doesn't make any sense, well, you know, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do. But I hope that you find this video helpful. If you're an instructor, if you're a parent, if you're a student, on the parent side, they don't have as much of the concern unless their internet connection to begin with is bad, which again, that's something they could work on if they don't have the money to do it. Unfortunately, that's what you have to work with, right? I would definitely plug in. You know, um, Again, try to work from a set location. Again, I know you guys want to move around. You want to work here, you want to work there, you want to be in the bedroom, in the dining room, in the kitchen, in the living room. Pick a set location. That's how it's going to have to be. Pick a set location, um, and that's where you're working from, and just try to improve on that location. What can be done better? Um, and go from there. Another you know thing that I want to add is I know that some of the teachers are using YouTube to play a video. Um, you're asking for problems, especially if you're at home, you're connected to Wi-Fi. Your wireless is probably in the basement. You're in your bedroom or in the dining room, wherever you work from, right? Whatever the case is, and you're playing this YouTube video to all your students, right? Again, and the problem that I'm seeing is, these YouTube videos, you're playing it from directly from the internet. Typically it's not recommended to do that. If you're gonna play a video, um, it's really like even in some of the best conference rooms out there, um, they have different systems to do that. Different technology meeting to be able to have multiple participants participate and watch. But from my experience, it's online video is touchy because even from the best system out there, that's plugged in directly with a cable and the hardware is great, right? It's not an issue with the hardware, and it's plugged in. It has a dedicated connection. You even have the ability to do wirelessly as a failover, as a backup. it's still a challenge, right? The people local to the meeting have no problems seeing the meeting, right? Everyone else remotely that's watching that video, it's you don't know what their connection is going to be, their connectivity is going to be. So if they're having a shitty connection, well, they're going to have a shitty experience and they're going to think it's something on your side. They're going to think, it's you're bad. You don't know what you're doing. They're going to get frustrated. You're probably going to get frustrated because, you're trying to fix the issue on their side. So the easiest solution would be um, send them the damn link. Send them the link for them to follow along, for them to go do this on their own or watch it before or after at some point. But send them the link. But trying to play that video on top of your shitty connection, which you may have, right? Your shitty PC, your shitty Wi Fi, your shitty internet package. Um, I like saying shitty a lot, right? Trying to go out on the interweb, right? That's another term that my daughter used. Interweb, trying to go out on the interweb, and broadcast to everyone else. You are going to have these problems, guys. I mean, I could probably say download the content locally, but as you know, that's a violation of YouTube policy unless you have explicit permissions from the content creator. Um, it's I don't know any better way to get those videos across. I mean, you could try to download it and play it, but you are going to run into some of those issues, and it's not something you could fix, especially if it's on the parent side, right? They need to also be aware of their probably shitty Wi-Fi, their shitty PC, their their shitty internet package. Uh, I play too much. So yeah, um, hopefully you find this video helpful. Um, something else I want to share before I go. I know some people like, well, I don't have $800 for a PC with everything you just mentioned. Well, here it is, and I'm not getting any money or sponsorship or anything from Best Buy. They're just a great website when it comes to filtering the what you're looking for. So here I'm looking for a new PC that has an SSD drive and anywhere from 8 gigs to 16 gigs of memory. And and then I'm changing it by price low to high. So it's showing me the lowest that it has available. And this is what I notice about Best Buy is that this is local to me, guys. So if you happen to be in California or somewhere like that, you may not see this at first. Um, you may see something else, but again, this is a great website for you to go and look at what might be available if you have you have a limited budget, $400 or less, and I think that's nothing. And this is just for the tower, guys. Just to let you know, the tower typically comes with the mouse and keyboard. Um, so you will have to have your own monitor, which you can use your old monitor. You could use your old mouse and keyboard if you like also. This is just changing out the tower, the PC itself. And if you're not sure, please don't take my advice if you're not sure what to do. Ask someone in your family or a friend, someone you're close to about this. Don't just take my advice and go and purchase a PC, right? Um, and what else? Ask a friend or family. And when you're buying from Best Buy, I know one of the things Best Buy like to do is, do you want warranty? Do you want extra coverage for a $400 PC? I mean, it's your call at the end of the day. I would say no. Stay away from whatever support they're offering. If you get, I would probably say if you get 5 years out of this PC, which most likely will, the SSD will, give or take, and they may die. But if you get 5 years out of this PC, you got your money's worth, right? It's $400 you paid for it 5 years ago, you know, and I'm pretty sure 5 years from now, it'll probably run okay. Well, it depends as application, gets new application comes out, it requires more system resources. So, 5 years from now, it may just be a slow ass PC like the one you have now. So can't help it there. But yeah, once you go to this website, just look at what's available, right? For 400 or less, um, or maybe a little over 400. Like this one, I would probably purchase this one as opposed to this one. Um, those AMD, I heard about these new AMD. The the video, because when you're buying these PC, most likely using an onboard video that's built into the motherboard. Um, and I heard the AMD CPU here is good for the video, but you know, Intel is pretty good as well. They have their pros and cons. But here I could definitely, you can see more people purchasing this one as opposed to this. You could look at the reviews. You can see this is almost a full 5 star. People are liking it. Um, and HP. I like the HP support. They've been pretty good. HP and Dell. I like their support. I can't say the same for the other brands. But yeah, that's my preference there. Some of you may have a laptop and you're like, well, it's thin, I can't plug it in. Well, you can. You could purchase what's called a docking station, just like you're seeing here. You can see it's a little pricey. They have the USB-C that you're seeing there. They also have the USB-A, right? Here's the USB-A, the standard USB-A adapter. And you can see the prices. You could probably find them on Amazon for a lot less. And if I do load a high, let's see. If I do load a I, if I do load a I could probably see some more, but you kind of get what you pay for. You can see as you don't get that much. You don't see that much different. It's still in the 70s. So get a docking station so you could plug the USB in into your laptop, and here you have your network port right there, right? You have your network port. Um, right there where you could plug in your Ethernet cable. You could, if you want, you could plug in also your display. I believe, yeah, you could plug in another display here, right? Your HDMI display or your VGA display. Um, so that's one if you have a laptop at home and you don't want to do a desktop and you're wondering how do you plug in. I definitely would recommend staying away from a Chromebook. If you're hosting a meeting, um, stay away from a Chromebook. I don't know what it's like on a Mac. Macs are very expensive, and I think you get those minimum that I talked about. You get the unless you have a very older Mac, right? You get the 8 gigs of RAM minimum. You get the SSD drive, right? Minimum, and the obviously a dual core CPU. So I think if you're on a Mac, you're fine. Right? You paid a lot of money for it. Might as well get something out of it. So yeah, uh, this is really for people with PC. Again, stay away from a Chromebook unless you have the budget to get those higher level Chromebooks. But if you're getting those $200 Chromebooks and you're expecting to host a meeting, nah, nah, nah. All right. Next, I want to, I think I talked a little about my wireless network here. You can see some of the nice speeds. Um, my wireless clients here are getting, right? I consider pretty nice. No one is complaining about internet problems. Um, I have, if I have a Asus Nighthawk R7900, but I flashed it with DDRRT to get it to be a 8000. See R8000 uh, device. Um, and my Wi-Fi is awesome. This is a tri-band router, so I have one 2.4 and two 5 gigahertz um, radio. So that's why you're seeing here W uh, LAN 0, 1, and 2 um, that I have here in all my wireless devices. So the 0, everyone on the 0 here. that's my 5 gigahertz. Everyone on the 2, that's my 5 gigahertz. Everyone on the 1 is the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. So yeah, that's good there. That's the wireless. And on the LAN side, on the local side, um, I have my Asus modem router, which I talked about. That's where my internet comes in, my modem slash router. These two IPs are the same. My UMA Tello that provides phone service. My Cisco 24 switch, 24 port switch, where a lot of my devices connect to, including my server down in the basement. My Netgear wireless access point. So this is where all the wireless devices that you see right here are connected to, is to that Netgear. And then I also have a Windows laptop and a Windows desktop. So you can see them there. Let's say my Samsung. I'll check on that later. Down below, I have my server, then a bunch of virtual machines here. Right, so the reason why I'm in my printer, and the reason why I'm showing you this, not to show off my network by any means, is to show you everything that's online, right? The same time that the kids are in school and online. And if I go and do a internet speed test here, you could see, I'm getting close to that 200. So pretty good results there. Loving it. So yeah, hopefully this video is helpful. It's longer than I expected. But yeah, again, just wanted to share my personal opinion. All right. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. All right. Thank you.